Hi, welcome to our first lecture this week. We're going to look at some history on the principle that it helps to know where we've come from to know where we are, much less where we're going. So let's look at an early form of media. This is the cave drawings in southern France, an event where people recorded their lives, their societies, their cultures for future people to see. I think of this as an early form of media. The papyrus, the scrolls, language has been invented, preserved for people to read and learn from later. Another important move forward in media. That thing on the right, you recognize it, it's a book. But it's a book that was printed by hand by people who were doing this for a living, and each book was done this way, by hand. In this case, it's a Bible, just as the book on the right there is. It's a Bible. But in this case, it was created on a printing press invented by Johannes Gutenberg, a major shift forward in media, perhaps the most important in our history until now. Maybe the use of media for political persuasion would be another leap forward. It had been used this way before, but mass production of media in the form of pamphlets and newspapers became an important shift in the media. That's a telegraph. Think about what happened with the telegraph. We had media moving before that at a top speed of as fast as a horse could run. Suddenly it was going at approximately the speed of light. The changes wrought by that were enormous. It changed warfare, economies, almost everything we can imagine. And one thing it led to was the spread of correspondence around the world for newspapers and magazines to tell us what was going on. And we had almost, in those days, it was the closest thing to real-time news. And the height of print, I think, becomes around the end of the 19th, early 20th century. And the power of print was high then and higher than it's ever been. The next big shift is broadcast. That's a radio, an early radio. Radio was used for good, for evil, and everything in between, but it was a one-to-many medium, mass media, at the speed of light. TV, not just radio with pictures, but its own kind of medium, changes our societies again with the ability to pull people around to watch things together and see them live. The one on the right is the first moon landing. Several billion people watched that at the same time. Imagine how that was for the world to see. This was a legacy model, the 20th century, of media in a very linear sense, even if it was mass media, but it was a manufacturing and then distribution system. We'd make stuff, we would then manufacture it, in the case of newspapers and magazines, a print product, and then we'd put it in a truck and send it out. Manufacturing, distribution. Not what we're doing now, because we're in this era. And in our next lecture, we'll talk about what has happened as a result of this.